Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Facebook and YouTube Lives. It has been quite a while since I've done the last one. Since then, I've become a new mom to our little William. And so this is the first one that's back since I've had him. So yay, I'm excited to be back and can't wait to start teaching and sharing things with you again. Today, we are going to go over whether or not you should get a loan, an LLC only loan, or a loan in your personal name, because I know a lot of you have that question and that you don't really know which one to choose. So we're going to go over that. I'm going to let a few people join. Let me know where you're listening in from, comment, and I'll see where you're coming in from. Can definitely feel fall in the air now. And here in East Tennessee, it's very nice outside. I love it. It's cold in the morning, or cool in the morning, I should say, warm in the evening. But yeah, let me know where you're coming in from. If you guys don't know me, my name is Brenna Carls, the CEO and founder of The Mortgage Shop, creator of Financing Short-Term Rentals, and now creator of the app called Qualified. And I will go over that at the end as well. All right, let's get started. So, LLC loan versus personal home loan, which is best for your situation? So we know that there's different loan types, right? There's the conventional loan type that goes off of your personal debt, personal income in your personal name. And then we also have the LLC only loan that doesn't go off of your personal income usually or personal debt. And you can close in an LLC only. So let's look at the pros and cons of each and see which one might best fit your situation. Should you do a conventional loan that closes in your personal name, or should you opt in for an LLC only loan like a DSCR loan? Let's look at the conventional first. The pros, it's lower down payment options. So if you've watched my videos before, tutorials and educational things before, you know that you can put as little as 10% down on a vacation home loan. If you're just getting started out or you don't have a vacation home loan in that area, you can do a little bit of 15% down, then up to 20% down. There are no prepayment penalties on conventional loans. There are lower rate options most of the time. 30-year amortized loans for your investment loans, things like that. The cons would be you can only close in your personal name or a trust, so no LLCs. It goes off of your personal debt and personal income, so you may be capped if your debt to income ratio is too high. And then it will show on your personal debts on your credit report. So remember, if we're trying to build that wealth and we're trying to grow your portfolio and your debt to income ratio is starting to get capped, just know that it will report and count against your debt to income ratio for conventional loans. It will show your name on title on public websites and records unless you do a quitclaim deed. We will go over that at the end of what that is and how to do that. And then it is capped at a max of 10 financed residential properties for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So it doesn't matter if you have a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac backed loan on it. If it's a DSCR loan and it's your personal name and it's on a residential property, that counts as against your 10 financed residential properties. So just keep that in mind. Okay, the myth. A lot of people say, well, I want to get started and do a conventional loan, but I hear that I can get sued and I, want to protect my assets and things like that. And it's their first property or it's maybe your third property. You don't have a lot of equity built up. This is probably the most cookie cutter, like in terms of rates and everything like that you can get. So if you are just getting started out, I do probably recommend the conventional loan. Obviously, we'll go over your personal situation together and I can advise on that. The myth is you can't protect yourself from legal recourse if you close in your personal name. So that's a myth. The logic is this is what insurance is for. Make sure your homeowner's insurance policy covers things like theft, injury, accidents, etc. And that will protect you as an owner as well. I do preface, and I'll preface again in this, I am not a real estate attorney. However, I do have close real estate attorney professionals in my business that I work closely with. And we have talked about this in depth on these types of scenarios, okay? So I'm just letting you know what I've seen with my personal deals, with my clients' deals, as well as what these real estate attorneys that I'm friends with tell me as well. So you can always do a quitclaim deed to your LLC if your lender allows for that. This will show your LLC on title on public websites. So let's say you go to the county assessor's website right now in one of your properties that you own, whether it's your primary residence, whether it's your investment property. If you close in your personal name, it will show your personal name on that website. If you do the LLC, it won't at that point. It would show the LLC's name on that tax record. And I'm going to go over that again at the end, just to go in more in depth of that so you understand exactly what you're doing with that. People cannot see your name on a mortgage statement, as this is not public information. So somebody's like, well, what if I title it in an LLC? My name is still on the mortgage. Cool. The only person that's going to see that, me, your lender, or whatever lender you work with. Okay. That is not public, personal, or public information. That is known as personal private information that you cannot readily access unless somebody gives you permission to. If you are just getting started out and can qualify with your debt to income ratio, conventional loans are a really good option and a way to start your investing journey. Also, y'all, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and then I will answer all questions at the end. If I feel like it is really relevant and I've missed a point that you're bringing up, I will answer it throughout this just so everybody is on the same page. But I will answer all questions at the end as well. So you can put those in the chat and I'll read them out loud and everybody will be on the same page. And you might hear a question at the end that you may not know you had. And you're like, oh, I need to know that too. So it's a really good option to listen at the end for those questions. Okay, so now we've been over conventional, right? That's like your 1 to 10 properties, 1 through 10. If your debt to income ratio qualifies, you've seen my videos before. You can use proposed rental income on those. They're great loans if you can qualify for them. Now, your LLC only loans, you've known them as DSCR loans, business purpose loans, non-QM loans. All of those can essentially close in an LLC only. It's usually in our realm of investment properties. You will be looking at a DSCR LLC only loan or another non-QM that allows you to close in the LLC. So pros, it does not go off of your personal debt or personal income. It can close in an LLC only and not your personal name. Does not report to credit. So this is a big one, or it should not if it's a true LLC only loan. You really want to grill those lenders out there if you are using somebody other than us, because you already know that I've told you, if we're telling you it's a true LLC only loan, that it's not going to report to your credit. If for some reason it did, that would be erroneous, and then we would get that removed. It helps with anonymity and asset protection. So that's another thing. A lot of people, let's say if you do have a lot of liquid assets and you don't want anybody to come after you for anything else, you can close in an LLC. People wouldn't know that it's yours, essentially. Let's say you're an NFL football player and you want to go buy a property for tax purposes. Well, you don't want to see, the quarterback of the Chiefs on a property address. You'll never see that. You'll see a trust or you'll see an LLC. You won't even see their name signed as the trustee. There's different ways to protect your assets, and that's kind of part of it. It does not have a max number of finance properties. So unlike conventional, you've got max of 10, right? For DSCR or non-QM, they don't really have a max number of finance properties. So if you are getting to that threshold and you're still wanting to build your portfolio, that's completely fine. And you will be able to do it this way, and we will utilize that plan for you. So the cons, many times comes with a prepayment penalty. So a percentage of what you owe when you sell or refinance. It can be a little higher in rate than conventional, but right now they're actually pretty much the same with 20% down. It takes into account the property's proposed rental income. This is actually a pro, but I put it on the cons list in case some of you have gotten a lot of you that are looking in areas that might not have income comps. So if it's got low income comps where it's showing not many properties out there that are making money around it, then that can become an issue if you're just solely relying off of the proposed rental income the property is going to do. It could be snags with closing if you don't choose a lender that specializes in these, as many don't know how to originate the short-term rental income, rural properties, cabins, etc. All of those right there can be a nightmare for you if you don't work with somebody that actually uses short-term rental income. Many of these DSCR lenders will say, yeah, I can do the DSCR loan. Then they do use long-term rental income on a $1 million property, and we all know that that's not going to work. And rural areas, a lot of them have problems with that. Rural areas shouldn't be an issue as long as there are comparables in the area. And cabins, those shouldn't be an issue either. I don't know really why they are, but either way, just make sure that you are working with somebody so you won't hit those snags at the end, because that can happen. Why an LLC only loan? So we kind of went over the pros and cons of each, right? So let's go over why you would want to do the LLC only loan. If you are about to hit your debt to income ratio threshold, this may be a good option for you until you can show income on the other properties you have purchased. So if you ever work with us and you get an email from me, my first email or my first call with you is going to say, what are your goals right now? What are your goals in the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years? Now let's meet both of those together to make sure you're going to be able to hit those goals in 2 years, as opposed to screw yourself over essentially right now and not be able to. So I plan ahead and then I rewind. That's an old saying, because I guess you don't rewind anything now. Rewind to the present to make sure you're going to set yourself up for success. So if I know that you're going to be capped, we might do an LLC only loan right now until you can show more income. Then the next one, we might pivot back to conventional loans. So it just depends on your personal situation. The other reason would be you're in a partnership with somebody and you want to create an LLC where both of you have equal parts ownership without giving your personal names involved. So a lot of people are saying, hey, I want to go in with my friend, want to do this as a business. Should we do personal names or LLC? I'm going to usually recommend doing an LLC, because that way friendship's out of it, right? It becomes a business. You're both protected. You both have that LLC partnership agreement. And then that title will also show the LLC, and both of you can operate it as a business at that point. You want to protect your assets and close an LLC so guests can't potentially come for you personally. So I'm going to go over this in the next few slides. A lot of things that could happen that you can protect yourself with. But if you essentially have a lot of liquid assets, like just millions of dollars in the stocks and checkings and savings, they could potentially go after you if they see that you own more assets and it's just in your personal name, right? So you could put it in an LLC to protect your other assets. You have already met your threshold of 10 financed properties conventionally and want to keep growing your portfolio. So there's the other thing. We can pivot back and forth from conventional to DSCR, but then also if you've hit that threshold, we'll go ahead and go to that DSCR LLC loan. So remember I was talking about quit claiming title to your LLC. So if you do a conventional loan, you close in your personal name. Well, Brenna, I want to protect myself. I want to close it in my LLC, but I still want to take the benefits of the conventional loan. Cool. We're going to close it in your personal name. We're then going to quit claim title to your LLC. I'm talking about me as your loan originator and the broker. I allow you to do that. Every bank and lender won't allow you to do that. So if you are working with somebody other than us, you always want to check to make sure that they allow you to do that. Some are finicky and they will not for some reason. But quit claiming title to an LLC. This just means that you are taking your personal name off of title and replacing it with your LLC's name. When people look up the property online, they will see your LLC's name on title instead of yours personally. If you want to have the option to do this, always make sure, again, your lender allows for this. We do, but every lender is different. How do you do this? Usually, this is what I tell you. The title company or title attorney that closed for you on that property can do this and record it with the county. You will do this after you close on the loan. It can be simultaneous. They can sign the documents at closing to do that. You do need to let them know and give them a heads up that that's what you want to do. However, it has to be recorded first, and then you can quit claim because you obviously don't own the property yet. You have to own the property, and then you can quit claim the title to your LLC from your personal name. I'm going over a lot of information right now, and I know y'all have questions. So please put the questions in the comments because I want to make sure you guys understand this and aren't confused on any parts. Okay. Protecting your assets. Now that we know the difference in products and what is best for each scenario, what happens if you get sued? I spoke with my real estate attorney friend, and this is what I found out. I'm going to preface again in this This is not legal advice. I'm just reiterating what I have been taught and what I have seen while doing hundreds of loans for investors. If you have title in an LLC, keep the business's assets accounts separate and do not commingle funds. So don't have intermingled personal funds, and they can come after you and their attorneys can say that, you aren't operating a true business. Therefore, we should be able to sue you for your personal assets if you have commingled funds. Excuse me. So watch out for that. Keep insurance up to date, which means have insurance on the property at all times. Have that insurance paid up to date at all times. If there's a lack in coverage, they can come and say, again, you're not holding up a proper business. It's not something that they could possibly come to your personal assets, but it can just diminish the look of you as a business owner, essentially, in the eyes of the court. Your personal assets outside of this particular LLC should not be affected. On top of what your insurance coverage covering accidents, injuries, theft, etc., keep in mind that you would need to have equity built up in the property to be able to be sued upon for that property. So if somebody falls at your property and, I don't know, for some reason your insurance coverage won't cover it, which it should, and then they try to sue you for your house and home and everything. The example I give to somebody is somebody hitting you in a car accident, but they don't have insurance or money. You can try to sue them in court for medical expenses, but if they don't have any funds, you're now out of money by taking them to court, and you still have unpaid medical bills. So just keep that in mind. It kind of works similar. Again, I'm not giving you legal advice. If you feel like you need to go hire a real estate attorney for this, you can. It's not a bad idea to always get advice, but just watch out for real estate attorneys out there that are charging an arm and a leg just to kind of give you the same advice. Be careful of that and be cautious. Do your research. This is why it's not a bad idea to get your properties in the LLCs after closing. If you close in your personal name, you can usually get an LLC in the state the property is in or the state you reside in. Check with the county you are purchasing in to see if they require one or the other. Now, I won't get into anonymous LLCs like Wyoming LLCs or certain states that you can close where attorney would have a really hard time trying to figure out who owns that LLC because it is protected and they can't find that out. Some states you can. That's all for you to talk with an attorney about, and that's going into the weeds a little bit. Probably will schedule one with my real estate attorney friend to go over that with you all in another Facebook Live. This is just essentially comparing products right now. So I don't want to get too much in the weeds, but if you feel like this is great information and you really would like to see that, let me know and I'll schedule that sooner rather than later. Okay, what is a layered entity? Holding companies. So you've heard, layered entities, holding companies, this protecting assets. This means basically an LLC that owns the LLC the property is in. This is just a beefed up version of where the person would have a hard time piercing the veil of getting to you as the LLC owner. This means more money they would have to pay an attorney to get to you if possible. Many get a holding company if they have multiple LLCs that they need to keep track of. For example, they've got 20 properties and an LLC on each of them. Then they can have a holding company that kind of does all of it for tax purposes, just more organized things. So you can do that as well. I want to preface, though, if you are a doctor or lawyer, there are different laws of where some states allow a complainant to sue you outside of your LLC. Work with a real estate attorney on your personal deals to make sure you are protected if this is your situation. All right, to sum up what we learned. Conventional is great if you can still qualify with your debt-to-income ratio. Use quitclaim deeds to put title in an LLC if you don't want your personal name on public records. Make sure your lender allows for this. LLC only is great if you need to leverage DTI to work in your favor, such as getting a conventional loan next year once you show more income. This allows you to grow your portfolio without your debt-to-income ratio being affected. It is also great if you are going in with a partner or have a lot of assets that need protected. So that is it. Questions about your personal scenario, reach out to me and I can take a look at your current situation and give you my opinion on what option you should choose next. for your next deal, for your first deal, for your 10th deal, what have you. I'll look at it as a whole for you and kind of guide you that way. Here's the contact information for me. I'm going to leave that up while I look at some of these questions that are in the chat. That's my email address, bren@mortgageshop.co, not .com. If you want to email me at financing.short.term.rentals on Instagram and YouTube, Facebook group. So all of this is powered by my Facebook group, Financing Short-Term Rentals. Can you believe that there are over 4,000 members in our Facebook group now? That's insane for financing. I started it with a dream of knowing that financing is boring for most people, and I try to make it interesting for people. So awesome. I'm so excited. If you haven't joined that yet, go ahead and join that Financing Short-Term Rentals Facebook group. And then, of course, our YouTube page, Financing Short-Term Rentals, and our phone number, 800-816-7982. Operators, you're standing by. Okay, so let's see. Is quit claiming usually an afterthought? Like I closed in my personal name, but later opened an LLC, or is it more strategic as a way to get perceived benefits from closing with a conventional loan initially? So yes, so it can be an afterthought. You know, if you want to do an LLC only, you would create the LLC once you get under contract. A lot of people ask, should I create it before I get under contract? You can, but what if it's a different state that requires you to get the LLC there and you got it in your home state? You just want to double check that. And then also what you can do is that property address that say it's, 123 Main Street. You can create that LLC and name it 123 Main Street LLC. It's not showing your name or anything like that, and it's specific for that property. So I usually recommend once you get under contract, start that process as soon as possible to get it over to us. If you're doing LLC only, if you're closing in your personal name first and then quit claiming, you have time to do it, but you kind of want all your ducks in a row and have that LLC created so the title company or title attorney can just do it at closing for you simultaneously, essentially, when you're closing that loan. And Karen, it just depends on your personal situation. If you have a lot of liquid assets and you want to protect yourself, we could do LLC only. If your debt to income ratio threshold has been met right now, we can do LLC only. If you still have room for conventional and just like you've got quite a bit to go and you're just getting started out, then I definitely would recommend conventional at that point as well. So it just depends on your personal situation. And then if you put your property in an LLC after closing in the personal name, does it come off of your credit or DTI? No. So that's a great question. So any property that you personally finance in your personal name will be against your personal debt to income ratio. The LLC being on title doesn't mean that that's not your debt anymore. It's still going to be reported to your credit report. But again, the only people that see that are people that you give permission to, like me as your loan originator. Now, you can have the LLC on title, and then you're going to file your rental income, hopefully on a Schedule E as an echo on your personal tax return, or if you're filing a business return for it at some point, you will file it on the Form 8825 under your business tax returns. We'll still calculate rental income on it the same, and so it may count against your debt to income ratio initially, but once we calculate the rental income on it, we'll offset that mortgage payment with that rental income that you have on it. And then essentially it's not counting against your debt to income ratio anymore. So that's the workaround for that. Does Florida require the LLC to be created in Florida? I am not 100% sure. I don't think so, but I'm not a real estate attorney, so I'm not 100% sure. And I'm pretty sure no. I'm pretty sure you can have it in a different state, but don't quote me on that. Always reach out to a real estate attorney and ask them that, or the title company should be able to know as well. Pretty sure it's not, though, because I have friends that have LLCs that have properties and they weren't formed in Florida, and me. So just check on that, though, in case there are any updates on those laws. You are welcome. Thank y'all for coming. Now, I will wait for any more questions that come in. But I do want to go over really quick. I'll stop sharing my screen here. The app that I've just launched and announced about a week ago, Qualified. It's literally basically the TurboTax for finance for you, whether you're getting your primary residence, investment property, things like that. I actually have an app developer that was on the Silicon Valley stage twice for apps. He helped build the app for Lyft, which is Uber's predecessor. I have him helping me with it as well. And he was the one that said it was like the TurboTax of finance and lending. And so what it's going to essentially do is you're going to answer a few questions, and it's going to tell you exactly what loan type would probably suit your needs the best. It's going to give you the top choice, and then it's going to give you some other choices below. It's going to give you the pros and cons, what you need to look out for. And then it's going to give you recommended vetted loan originators that specifically specialize in that type of loan. So it might not be me. You might be wanting to get an FHA loan. That might not be me. There might be another loan originator that specializes in that and closes them. Just like I do these investment loans, there are other people out there that specialize in different categories like me. And so I've built all of that together for you with these loan originators. And the difference is you can go to Zillow and things like that, and it'll give you a recommended loan originator to contact. But what that is they're paying for those leads. Those loan originators, no offense, most of the time don't know what the heck they're doing. And this app is literally going to give you everything you need and who you need, whether that's me, whether that's a loan originator in Wisconsin, whether that's a loan originator in California, that specifically specialize in the loan type that you are needing. Right now, it's a little daunting because I'm personally vetting all of these people, but soon, once the app takes off, I will have a team that follows my protocol of vetting these people. And we have systems in place to verify that they have closed the amount of loans that they said, the volume, everything like that. And so we are really excited to offer that to you. It's completely free to you. I also have in there where you don't even have to put your personal information in. It's just a tool that helps you. However, if you do want it emailed to you, I highly recommend that because you can put in your email address. It will email you your results, and you'll have kind of like a timeline of like what loan type is best for you. And you can continuously go back to that and make sure you're looking at the correct loans for yourself. So I'm really excited about that. It's literally in its infancy stages. And we have kind of done a soft beta launch for everybody. If you haven't checked it out yet, yay. Thank you, Karen. The app is awesome. If you haven't checked it out yet, let me put up the link for you. And I believe, let's see. Yep. Copy and banners. Add banner. Go to qualifiedloans.com. That's QUALIFID loans.com. You'll see me on there. You will see our mascot, Sticky. I am very proud of Sticky. I created him, and he is amazing. So let me know what you think about the app. If you have any questions on it, let me know as well. But I'm so excited to share that with you all. And it's just a tool to help buyers and help them get educated. And hopefully this is the end of people being confused on what loan type they need and getting, thrown about by different and various lenders. Like, we're done. Zillow, Realtor.com, we're done with paid people. We're getting it from this Qualified Loans, and that's going to be the end of it. And I'm so happy to share that with you guys. So if anybody doesn't have any comments, thank you all for joining. And if you have any follow-up questions, please let me know, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.